Peace, yo. How y'all doing? Coming at you because I want to share something with you. Was just thinking about some things about how we are, where we are in society, and how we show up, right? And so I just want y'all to bear with me just for a few minutes, and especially during what I'm about to do right now. So just give me at least a minute of your time. I have to run down a list of things, right? So when we wake up in the morning, before we step out for work, before we go out on a date, before we may go to a club, or just before we present ourselves to the world outside of our abode, we go through certain regimens, rituals and routines of beautification. On top of that, each gender has their different things in which they use to make sure that they are presentable and cosmetically and aesthetically appealing, right? So, we'll definitely shower up, we'll bathe, then we go on and we get some of our choice moisturizers. We will get our deodorants and antiperspirants. We will get our favorite perfumes and colognes, right? So, we're smelling good. Our skin is looking rejuvenated and refreshed, right? Now, on top of that, we have what we're doing now, for the women. They may get their eyebrows done. They may get their eyelashes done. The different ways to manipulate their hair, whether they're straightening it, they're curling it, getting extensions put in, braids, weaves, wigs. If there's overgrowth of hair, waxing is going on. On top of that, they're getting the manicures, the pedicures. For the men, we're getting our lineups fresh. We're getting our goatee and our beards shaped up, dyed. Everything is lined up perfectly, right? Also, for physical shape, we'll make sure that we'll commit to working out. We'll go to the gym. In some cases, we'll get a personal trainer to make sure that we're looking physically fit, right? So we go through all of these regimens, routines, and rituals of beautification, right? So again, when we present ourselves to the world, we are looking at 100% best, right? But here's where I'm going with this. So thank you for just, bearing with me for like that minute and a half of running down different things. And also on top of that, we are now in the age where we're engaging in augmentation. So people are getting surgeries done, where people are getting Botox in their lips, they're getting nose jobs, people getting breast augmentation, gluteus maximus, buttocks implants, different surgeries. Men are getting prosthetics, all different types of things, calf muscle implants, shoulder implants, all these things. So people are looking 100% aesthetically, cosmetically, and prosthetically appealing. But now here's the thing. If we're that dedicated and intentional about how we're presenting and showing up to people and to society, even on the dating scene, to our cosmetics and aesthetics, are we giving that same devotion and intentionality to the internal, the intrinsic portion of ourselves, right? So we may look so good in the face and clean, moisturized. We have our wardrobe matched well. We're smelling good. Everything is looking right. But that's only 50% of who we are, right? So we have our physical self, and then we have our intangible self, something that you can't put your hands on. These are the characteristics and traits that, we talk about: patience, humility, loyalty, trustworthiness, respectfulness, graciousness, gratitude, courage, all these different things. Like I said, these are also in the Bible, they're also considered fruits of the Spirit, right? But now you also have some bad intrinsic traits and intrinsic qualities. These are things like narcissism, right? Jealousy, malice, anger, so many different things. Matter of fact, hold on. I have it wrote down. So, jealousy, selfishness, vanity, people that like to manipulate people, abusiveness, arrogance, too much bravado, profanity, and vulgarity. So these are like the things, this is like the hair that overgrows, that needs to be waxed, it needs to be trimmed. And then you have the good traits, the patience, the listening, the ability to have empathy and sympathy, altruism, forgiveness, respect, loyalty, trustworthiness, selflessness, humbleness, kindness, being romantic, honesty, compassion, fairness, generosity, grace, gratitude, resilience, all of these things, right? So these are intangible. You can't touch them, but these are real traits. And these make up the other 50%, the unseen, untouchable portion of who we are and who we show up as, right? So now, when we start talking about, okay, well, I'm paying my beautician, $150 for this, and my stylist for this, and my trainer and my coach for this. So you got your trainer, your beautician, your stylist. Okay, what about the flip side, the intangible, the intrinsic side? Do you have a therapist? Do you have a counselor? Do you have a life coach or a spiritual advisor? Right? We have to balance these things. And so we have to also ask, how are we showing up? Oftentimes people talk about doing that internal work. What is the internal work? The internal work is what I just mentioned. All those different characteristics, the bad and the good, that doing the work. So doing the work is being able to control, minimize, and reduce those impulses of malice and selfishness, impatience and jealousy and things of that nature, right? Doing the work is also making sure that, hey, those qualities of respect, forgiveness, patience, humility, loyalty, trustworthiness, gratitude, grace. Am I making sure that the same way that I'm willing to sit down in a barber or stylist chair for a half hour to an hour to make sure that I'm looking right, am I doing that to make sure that these qualities are maximized, optimized? Like, do you engage in exercises, regimens, routines, and rituals to make sure to say, look, before I step out this house, before I start engaging people socially, am I being intentional about my ability to be patient, my ability to fall back and listen, my ability to express sympathy and empathy, my ability to forgive somebody that may have done something wrong, my ability to show grace. See, these are the things that if we were to do the work, meaning like I'm making sure I'm cognizantly, I'm intentionally, I'm dedicated to making sure that I am doing these things, that I am incorporating these things in my daily behavior when I'm engaging with people in society. How am I showing up? So now when you show up in relationships and business partnerships and even just family relationships, it's one thing to show up looking very presentable, beautiful, handsome, right? But that's just 50% of you. The other 50%, where is it? Are you at 100? Or are you down here? So you show up looking fabulous, but spiritually, intrinsically, you can't listen. You can't understand. You have to control. You have to manipulate. You have no sense of trustworthiness, no sense of respect or patience or humility or anything like that. Then you're giving, when you show up to a person, you're not giving them your full self. When you have a mate or you want to date and meet people, you're presenting the unmaximized self. You're giving the unoptimized self. When if you're doing the work, making sure that you're consciously aware of all of these intrinsic things and how you can better them. When you meet, when you engage, whether you're married, whether you're looking to be married, whether you're in a business partnership or family, you're showing up like, hey, I'm 100% physically I'm here. I'm 100% intrinsically here. I am full, I'm optimized, I'm maximized. I'm ready to engage with you. You're giving them your best. So are you giving your best? Or are you one of the people that are going to say, you know what? I'm fine just the way I am. You know, once you get all dolled up, you know, beautified and handsome, I don't need to do any work. I'm good just the way I am. Okay. So you're stagnantly ignorant. You're not willing to do the work. And then what comes into play is this. When we look at how there may be some extremely gorgeous woman, and she's with a guy that may look average or subpar, you know, however we value in society. Why is she with him? Or how did he get her? Aha. He did the best he could do externally, but internally, he's probably mastered so many of these different traits and fruits of the spirit that add on and enrich her. They provide her comfort. They provide her security. They provide her with sound peace and serenity, solitude, a sanctum. Because she knows that she can trust him. She knows that he has respect. She knows that there's loyalty. She knows she can get forgiveness if she makes a mistake. She knows she can get grace. She knows that he's romantic. So he's maximized all of that. And that knocks him up. If he was a 5 or a 6, that knocks him up to a 9 or 10 to her. Because she may not be looking for an Adonis. She's looking for something else. And it's the same thing if you flip it on the flip side. You may see this Adonis of a man, and he's with this woman that maybe average or subpar. But what is it about her, though? Maybe she gives him peace of mind, comfort, and serenity, assurance, reassurance of himself. She listens to him. She's patient. She takes time. You know, she works with him. Respectful. You know, he can trust her. And so he doesn't have to worry about when he's not around or his back is turned if she's cheating on him or anything like that. So these are grooming yourself internally, doing that work. That's what I think it means to me. And so I'm about to get ready to sign off, but like, you know, this is that real interior decorating that you talk about. Decorating yourself interiorly by mastering these good traits and qualities and fruits of the spirit so that you're fully wholesome for yourself and for the people that you meet. You'd be surprised how people respond to you just off of, a smile and a great disposition. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so it's just, oh, right. So it's how you invest in that, You want to the point where if a person was blind, they've never ever seen anything in the world, but you engage them, the Ray Charles effect, you engage them. They can you have tapped into and you're so in tune with those inner intrinsic traits and qualities that you have worked on to optimize, that when this blind person meets you, they can almost fall in love with you because of the way that you care for them. They can feel how you care for them, the tonality in which you speak to them, the patience in which you work with them. The fact that you're consistent with them, you're always showing up, you're there. They can feel that. They don't have to see you, but they can tell, they can infer, they can feel, they can sense the goodness and the greatness of your spirit. And the flip side, they can also feel that bad side, that overgrowth of bad traits and characteristics. The impatience, the arrogance, and the ignorance, the selfishness, all these things. So, anyway, grooming the inner self, grooming the inner spirit, grooming the intrinsic and internal traits of yourself so that you're 100% on the inside, 100% on the outside, you're optimized, you're maximized to your best for whoever you engage with. So I just want to share that, it came to me and I just felt like somebody out there can use that. All right, peace. And this is also some of the conversations that we'll be having on Swarthy Swank in the Master's Mindset section of the website. We're going to get ready to launch it. Peace.